Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving straight into a mystery that, let's be honest, has probably frustrated you at some point just this week. We're looking at why certain people just seem to have this steady, effortless stream of energy all day long, completely without relying on massive, jitter-inducing amounts of coffee. If you've ever felt like your day is just this constant uphill battle against fatigue, the insights we're exploring today from traditional Japanese daily routines are genuinely going to shift how you think about your own energy. Okay, let's tackle this incredibly relatable problem first. You know the exact feeling, right? It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you can just feel it coming. That heavy, unavoidable brain fog rolling in right behind your eyes. Your focus starts slipping, your eyelids get incredibly heavy, and your productivity just completely falls off a cliff. So why does this happen every single day? And more importantly, how do we usually react to it? Well, how do we try to fix it? We usually try to smash through that biological wall with a second, maybe a third cup of coffee. You tell yourself, look, just one more cup to get me to the end of the workday. But honestly, that just creates a vicious cycle. The coffee might push you through the afternoon, sure, but then you end up lying in bed at night, completely restless and just a little too wired to actually fall into a deep sleep. So what happens? You wake up tired the next morning, and the cycle of reaching for that giant mug of coffee starts all over again. The coffee is quite literally the thing keeping this exhausting wheel spinning. Now, I want you to contrast that exhausting cycle with a totally different way of living. Over in Japan, you'll often see elders, neighbors, and market workers who are on their feet all day, carrying a really steady, even energy from the moment they wake up until the moment their head hits the pillow. That dreadful 3 p.m. collapse, it just never arrives. They don't need a massive caffeine jolt to keep going. This incredible all-day stamina actually comes from 5 ordinary daily habits, including a really surprising final one that changes absolutely everything about how we view caffeine. So, let's get into habit number 1, rethinking your lunch to fix your afternoon. If we're going to fix the afternoon crash, we really have to look closely at what's on our midday plates. A standard Western lunch often leans super heavily on refined carbohydrates. Think about it, big sandwiches on white bread, a massive bowl of pasta, or sugary treats. This causes your blood sugar to shoot up incredibly fast. Your body basically panics, releases a flood of insulin to clear the sugar, and then it overcorrects, which causes a massive crash. Your brain runs low on glucose, and you experience that as brain fog and exhaustion. But look at the traditional Japanese lunch. Fish, tofu, a generous serving of veggies, fermented foods, and just a modest bowl of rice. That balanced protein and fiber slow everything right down. The blood sugar rises gently and falls gently, giving you a long, even line of energy instead of a volatile spike and crash. Now, check out this 80% figure. It represents hara hachibu, which is this amazing traditional Japanese practice of eating only until you are about 80% full. We usually tend to eat until we are completely stuffed, right? But that requires a massive amount of our body's internal energy just to manage that heavy digestion. A smaller, lighter meal quite literally asks less of your body. Less energy pulled into digestion means way more energy left over for your brain and your afternoon tasks. You can literally feel the difference the very same day you try it. Moving right along to habit number 2, the magic of gentle movement. Look, when you're completely wiped out, literally the last thing you want to do is move. You just want to sit down and rest. But our bodies actually work the exact opposite way. In Japan, gentle movement isn't treated like some exhausting chore you have to get through. It's seamlessly woven throughout the whole day. People walk to the train station, they take short strolls after meals, which, by the way, beautifully softens that blood sugar spike we just talked about. And perhaps most famously, there's Ragyo Taiso. Since 1928, every single morning at 6:30 a.m., a short set of gentle stretches plays on the radio. Tens of millions of people, school kids, office workers, grandparents in the park, all do these easy, gentle movements together. And the impact of this is honestly pretty mind-blowing when you look at the data. Researchers took folks who were constantly, chronically tired and had them do light, easy exercise. We're talking nothing strenuous, basically the equivalent of a leisurely walk. After 6 weeks, their overall fatigue dropped by a staggering 65%, and their energy levels rose by 20%. And here is the real twist. This gentle group actually improved more than a group that was assigned to exercise harder. For a tired body, gentle movement is the absolute sweet spot. That energy you're waiting to feel before you work out, it's actually waiting for you to move first. All right, habit number 3, bookending your day, both morning and night. Here's the quiet truth about having all-day energy. You actually secure it the very second you wake up. In the morning, the Japanese day often kicks off by throwing the curtains wide open or stepping right outside. Getting bright morning light in that first hour of waking up is literally the single strongest signal your body clock has. It rapidly lowers melatonin, which is the hormone making you feel sleepy, and it lifts cortisol, the hormone that makes you alert. It acts exactly like your body's built-in wake-up switch. By simply getting outside, even if it's a gray, cloudy day, you're telling your entire biological system that the day has officially begun. No massive mug of coffee required. Then we flip to the other bookend of the day, nighttime. The traditional Japanese evening often wraps up with a deep soak in a hot bath. Obviously, it feels incredibly relaxing, but it's actually doing something biologically brilliant. Sitting in that warm water raises your core body temperature. Then when you get out, your body rapidly cools down. That sudden drop in temperature is a powerful biological signal to your brain that it is time for deep, restorative sleep. By protecting their sleep with this neat temperature trick, the next day practically takes care of itself. Which brings us to habit number 4, the green tea advantage for a smarter boost. When folks in Japan want a midday lift, they usually aren't reaching for a dark roast. They go for something way smarter. Green tea. Now let's be totally transparent here. Green tea is not caffeine-free. It definitely contains caffeine to wake you up. But here's the difference. Coffee delivers caffeine alongside the jitters, the racing heart, and that inevitable crash. Green tea, on the other hand, delivers its caffeine bundled with a secret weapon that raises your energy without violently throwing you back down an hour later. The absolute game changer here is a remarkable amino acid called L-theanine. When caffeine and L-theanine arrive in your system together, which is exactly how they naturally occur in a simple cup of green tea, something beautiful happens. The caffeine wakes you up, sure, but the L-theanine steps right in to smooth off all those sharp edges. It removes the jitters, it stops the racing heart, and it completely buffers that sudden drop-off. What you are left with is this amazing state of calm, clear, and steady alertness. It's just a completely different physiological experience from drinking coffee. And finally, habit number 5, closing energy leaks by removing what drains you. This whole concept completely flips how we view daily stamina. It's not about forcing energy into our bodies because, as this quote hits the nail right on the head, coffee works by borrowing from later. Caffeine just blocks the message in your brain that says you're tired. So the tiredness doesn't actually disappear, it simply gets muted. It waits in the background, builds up quietly, and eventually, it demands to be paid back. Coffee works by borrowing energy from your future, leaving you with a physiological debt that shows up aggressively as that dreadful afternoon crash. But these traditional Japanese habits, they do the exact opposite. A balanced 80% full lunch stops the sugar crash. Gentle movement keeps your physical energy flowing instead of letting it pool. Morning light sets your internal clock, and a proper evening cool-down routine heavily guards your rest. Finally, green tea gives you a lift without taking out a high-interest loan on your nervous system. They all work by closing the energy leaks, removing what drains you so the natural, steady energy you are actually born with finally has room to show up. So if your afternoons just keep falling apart on you, I challenge you to try the gentle version of all this for just 1 week. Eat a little lighter, take a short stroll, catch the morning sun, protect your sleep, and maybe swap just 1 coffee for green tea. But as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you staring at this final vital question. Rather than asking how you can force yourself to be more awake, how will you protect your natural energy today? What leak are you going to close first?